What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another Panel B podcast, the Wednesday version.
Hello.
So fun stack, fun picks. We're all happy about our picks during the Wednesday show. It's the Monday show when it's an issue. With me, Julian Edlow, who is making his picks, I believe, at the moment.
Mm-hmm. I know the rest of them. I just have to look more into hockey. But I have an idea.
All right.
It's that's probably the easiest one, actually.
I actually do like, and this is for later, but I do like hockey uniforms a lot. I just don't know much about the hockey.
Folks. Our stack later today will be 90's jerseys. So we will look at NFL, NHL, NBA, and a flex. And it's the one time I trust these guys to talk about hockey because we're not actually talking about hockey. We're just talking about the clothes people wear while they play hockey. In the 90's, there are some good ones. Stay tuned. But before we get there, we definitely have to talk Week 10 NFL. We have a Thursday night game that's pretty enticing, Chargers-Raiders. Probably made more enticing by the fact that Patrick Mahomes has been out for the Chiefs. But on top of that, the Raiders have been very good. Surprisingly good, I would say. And the Chargers are still talented, coming off their best win of the season. We'll, of course, talk about all of the action on Sunday, including our picks, our bets, our two bets for that as well. But we will start with that Thursday night game. The Chargers on the road in Oakland, potentially, playoffs uncertain. Last primetime game in Oakland for the Raiders, at least for this version of the Raiders before they move to Las Vegas. Chargers are -1 underdogs, so more or less pick them there, or they're a little bit, they're favored on the road. With an over-under of 49 on the money line, it is Chargers -114. It is Raiders +100. So before we get into the DFS side, when we look at those betting angles, Bukes, what stands out to you?
I like the over a lot. We've kind of talked about this. We've hit them on this before, but the Raiders secondary is so incredibly bad. And people don't talk about how bad they are. We talk about the Buccaneers being so bad, the Texans, the Giants. The Raiders are right there. You look at their game log over the past 4 weeks, 149, 262, 177, 287. That's the amount of receiving yards, 2 opposing receivers, six touchdowns in total. I think my volume's too high. I'm hearing myself too much. But just an absolute number of targets going to opposing receivers and having success with that. And with the way the Chargers have been playing, which seems to be from behind lately, except when it's facing the Packers, who can't cover a spread and get dismantled. That's a different story. That was a sore spot for both of us.
Everything, I'm just scrolling through the board right now, and everything I want to talk about in some way, shape, or form links back to a near miss on my betting board at some point.
I'm with you. With the Packers, they killed me. But yeah, I like the over a lot in this game. I think it's just a tad bit too low at 49. I think this is over a 50-point game.
I hate this game so much. I'm looking at it. I'm trying to think of something that I like.
Really?
Really, because I understand the over, but
Thursday
at the same time, it's 49 points. It's a lot. It's a short week. It's a division game. And the Chargers just shut down the Packers for almost an entire game with a garbage time touchdown. I thought the Raiders secondary was trash. I played. Everything links back to a lost bet. Lions team total over 24.5 on Sunday. They got to 14 in no time and ended at 24 with that goal line stand to end the game. The Raiders defense might not be that bad.
No, it's bad.
And we don't know exactly what the Chargers are. They just had their most impressive win of the season. They always do this. We talked about this a little bit last week. Is this going to be the win that sparks their traditional November-December run to look at a wild card spot? Or was it a fluke and they're just going to continue being the joke of a team that we saw in the first couple months of the season? I don't know if I want to spend my money on finding that out on a short week division game.
Do we put too much weight in the firing of Ken Wisenhunt, and then all of a sudden Melvin Gordon looks like Melvin Gordon did pre-holdout?
I don't think so. He didn't have any time to get ready. He was just kind of thrown back into the fire after his holdout. So it's to me, the first few weeks that he was back, it was just the first preseason games.
Sure.
You're still kind of getting back on your legs, getting back into the mix. To me, that should have been expected. You couldn't think he's going to come back out and start rushing for over 100 yards and catching 6-7, passes in the game. So it feels like the timing is right. Mm-hmm. He's had 3 weeks under his belt now, I think it is, and now he's actually starting to get going. So I think the timing is a coincidence.
Right.
Is basically
the
what it comes down
matchup
to.
too, though. I mean, we've
Sure.
talked about the Packers' rush defense struggling before. Okay, so we've talked about the over. If you do have to pick a winner, maybe maybe you don't have to make one of your best bet or anything. Who's winning this game?
I think the Raiders win this game. I really think they do. I just don't trust Phillip Rivers. Like, I know he's been getting the ball downfield and whatnot, but their offensive line is just so bad. And if there's somebody that you need to protect, it's someone like Rivers, who is not going to scramble and get out of the way. He's just going to take the hits, essentially. So I know, like, the Raiders' pass rush isn't anything special, but that offensive line, man, it's brutal.
Captain Raiders DST at 5,100.
That's
No
a stretch.
thanks.
That's a stretch.
I'm good there. I don't know, like Phillip Rivers, I saw a stat. He's 8-2 against the spread on Thursday night games, so it's been a good spot for Rivers. I would really like to take the Chargers here and buy into what we saw on Sunday, because heading into the season, if you were going to make a spread on this game, it would probably be a touchdown, like.
Yeah.
So in some sense, there's value on the Chargers, but my gut is telling me that the Raiders are good enough to win this game. So that's why I won't be betting on it. But I guess my pick's the Raiders.
Real quick on the DFS side of things, talking flex, we have the two quarterbacks at the top, $10K for Rivers, Carr just below at 96, and then Josh Jacobs, Keenan Allen, and then the tight ends. Shouts out to the tight ends.
Yeah.
Darren Waller, 8,600, Hunter Henry, 84. Who are you spending up on here?
Basically for the Raiders, it comes down to three guys that are going to score: Jacobs, Waller, Williams. That's pretty much it. Like, Hunter Renfrow doesn't really score. It doesn't get a lot of looks
Except
in the
he
red zone.
has like 2 weeks in a row, right?
Yes, but like if you look at if you pull back for the entire season in terms of red zone looks,
What have you done for me lately?
what have you done for me lately? You gave
Nothing.
me Anthony Davis last night.
You picked. We're going down a whole different rabbit hole here. I tweet out all my best bets.
And I tailed two of them.
They did fine. I think they split. I think they went 500. It was close to a wash of a night. And Bukes on his own decides to pick two losers. That's not my fault.
I'm sorry. I was listening to the guy who was so confident.
But you can't pick and choose. You
I'm supposed to play all your bets.
yes, you roll with me or you don't.
Good luck with that. There's nobody doing that that follows you.
Maybe someone in my loyal following is smart enough to go big or go home and play them all.
Not
Because that's how you end up a winner.
Well, I picked two losers. Just like
It's
you.
very fitting, Bucks. Anyway,
Anyways.
Thursday Night Football.
You guys are both done with that conversation. That only gives you a glimpse into how I'm feeling about it.
But Terrell Williams has scored in every game except last week when he's been on the field. He has the highest red zone target share for the Raiders. Josh Jacobs is a team against a team that can't stop the run with the Chargers. They've been gashed on the ground and through the air. Those are two guys I think you definitely have to pay up for.
All right, there you go. Let's go to Sunday. Let's get to our picks.
Oh, jeez.
Where do we want to start? Who wants to kick us off? Who's
You
feeling
start.
good this week?
Because now everybody has to play everything that you say. So you must play these two.
if you're smart, yeah.
Stupid.
Okay. The heavy favorite money line parlay this week is just stealing money. But I'm going to do that one second.
Yes, we're all waiting.
Because that one is highly anticipated. There's a line outside the studio chanting, cheering, with torches raised.
I had asked them to get out of the way just so I get in here.
Okay.
Why do they have torches?
Because they want to burn down the door and get the pick out of me.
From the person inside the wooden.
That's a really thick door. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, before the people bust in here.
Yeah, security measures are pretty high here. I don't think anyone's burning down anything.
I'm going Arizona Cardinals plus 4.5. They've been very good against the spread. I get that they're on the road here, but the Bucks, who, yes, should have covered against Seattle if Seattle made that game-winning field goal, did not because they lost by 6 in overtime on the touchdown. Tampa hasn't covered a spread since the last game in September. They've been terrible against the spread. Arizona's trending in the right direction. points will be valuable because we could see a lot of points in this game with the 51.5 total, but I just like the way that Arizona's trending. They just covered against a really good 49ers team, even though they're going to have to go on the road now versus at home. I really like Arizona in this spot getting 4.5. I think they could potentially win that outright, and losing by a field goal obviously fits there. Heavy favorites money line parlay. Too easy this week.
Too easy.
Baltimore Ravens are 9.5-point favorites at Cincinnati. They're minus 435 on the money line. You're using them. New Orleans Saints minus 590 on the money line, hosting the terrible Atlanta Falcons as 13-point favorites. You're using them. Indianapolis Colts, doesn't matter who the quarterback is, you're hosting the Miami Dolphins, minus 455. You're using them. Put those three teams together, minus 130. That's easy money.
Where do you think it falls apart?
It doesn't
The
fall
Colts.
apart.
You think it falls apart with the Colts?
Yes.
The Dolphins are going to win this weekend?
They won last week. I called it.
Okay, they beat the Jets at home.
I don't care. The Dolphins are better than people say. Offensively.
That's
If they
fine.
still had Preston Williams, I would say yes. But
Yeah, that's a bummer.
I think it
was
falls
kind of
apart with I think the Bengals win. I think they come out of the bye. AJ Green might be getting healthy. Cordy Glenn
Is
as
he playing
well.
this week?
That's the
That's a rumor.
if you go to certain other fantasy sites that will offer projections when someone is projected to play, he has a projection this week for the first time.
Meaningless.
So, we'll see what happens.
When you want to find out when the news breaks, though, DK Live will have that for you.
Exactly.
How's
Much
that for a
faster
plug?
than other fantasy
Let's see if
sites.
we.
I
I
might
wonder if
add.
DK Live can sponsor us.
Look directly
In-house
over your left
sponsor?
shoulder.
Well, I haven't got a check from that yet. Anyways,
Uh,
let's do
I
my
believe I
bets.
handle monthly payroll, and you've gotten many checks for this.
Yeah,
Oh.
they have paid you.
Yes.
That's true. That's true.
Come on, Zach Taylor. All right. Not my pick, though. Not picking them. All right.
Okay.
Your picks.
Buffalo Bills +3.
Oh, this will be fun. We're going head-to-head again. I
I
love
don't.
it.
You're
Love it.
taking the Browns?
Let's go.
Stop it.
All right. We'll get to my reasons later.
Browns are the sharp side on that one.
I don't care. I don't
Let's-
care about the sharp side.
I'm just
Bills
saying.
+3
Real
is a
quote.
joke.
Real
I'm not
thing that
touching-
was
I'm
just
not
said
touching it.
outside.
Yeah, that's
Out loud.
Banner B podcast. We don't care about the sharp side.
I don't care about the sharp side. If the sharp side won every time, there'd be no books.
They don't. They win like 60% of the time.
Okay, so 40% of the time they're wrong, and this is one of them.
Okay.
I don't get how the Bills are +3 underdogs. The Browns are terrible. Awful. Disgraceful. What else? Pull up a thesaurus. I'll do some other adjectives.
You got a computer.
Bills. I don't want to do that right now. I'm doing my picks. Bills +3. That's my first one. The other one, I keep flip-flopping. Like, even as Julian was talking, I kept flip-flopping here, but the flip has finally flopped. I'm taking Cardinals, Buccaneers over 51.5.
Yeah.
I think
mind
that's going to
that.
be a lot of points in that one. Even with Winston turning over the ball 17,000 times, he's still putting up a lot of fantasy points. Evans is going crazy. Godwin's going crazy. The Cardinals will have...
And it's a good like Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't done anything too crazy until he threw the 4 touchdowns against the Cardinals this
Right.
season. So it's a good secondary for a guy like Winston.
Cardinals
who
are
makes
just
going
gonna
to
have
mistakes.
no answer for that. And the other thing is...
Kenyon Drake's not going to be able to do anything, though. They
No.
won't be able to run the ball.
Well, that's the thing. Other thing, too, I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball at all. So that means Murray's going to have to chuck it 30, 40 times. Take it. So over 51.5, Arizona and Tampa Bay. And the smash spot can't miss +3, Bills. But unlike Julian, you can only play one. You don't have to play both, okay? Julian's have to play everything.
All right, let's get to
You'll
my
get
picks
them all
here.
on Twitter. There were 14 last week.
Yeah,
my
two
first
losers.
my first play is Browns -3.
Why?
The play was 2.5 when we did this show on Monday, and I'm like, well, I bet that'll get bet down toward the Bills, right? Like, because why exactly should it be? Early returns were like 90% plus on the Bills, yet still reverse line movement to -3.
That's called sharp money.
Because look, the Bills are not as good as their 6-2 record. The Browns, maybe more from a talent perspective, are not as bad as their 2-6 record. We talked about Baker Mayfield, 7 touchdowns in 8 games, hasn't thrown multiple in any game this season. Does not matter when Nick Chubb is going to amass 150, 200 yards possibly on this Bills defense that got gashed by Jordan Howard, got gashed by Adrian Peterson, running the exact same plays that the Eagles did. I think, and this is a big if Freddie Kitchens has
Freddie Kitchens
if
might
he
be able
retains
to.
anything from watching film,
No, he doesn't watch
Nick
film.
Chubb will run the ball 27 or 28 times in this game.
Freddie Kitchens is known for giving Nick Chubb the ball on 4th and 9. So maybe
Give it to him
this
on
is a
first
game where he
and
just
10.
keeps giving it to him.
Exactly. On the other side, the Bills just are so content to score 10 points and then just hover around that if the defense can keep it close. Josh Allen has continuously been careless with the football. He's just recovered a lot of fumbles recently. That could change. Maybe Singletary gets more involved. That's great, but it's probably only potentially only if the Browns get up big. They still give the ball to Frank Gore on 3rd and 1s, and I'm losing my mind as he doesn't get them. All right, so maybe there's emotions involved here, but fine. That's great. Browns -3. My other play, I'm taking the Giants -2.5 in their quote-unquote road game against the Jets. I think Gase is the worst coach
Hoping
compared
somebody was taking that.
to Kitchens. Because you agree with it or because you don't agree with it?
I like the Giants -2.5.
So then why did you take it?
Now I got to change.
Because it was between Cardinals +4.5 or Giants -2.5, and I only get 2 picks, and one of those picks has to be the heavy favorites money line parlay.
Yeah.
Put it in
You got Lev Bell just like now making up that his knee hurts and like needs an MRI, yet there's no indication that he's actually hurt. Gase has no idea it's even happening. Darnold is just regressing like there is no tomorrow. Daniel Jones is also from his first start against the Buccaneers, but like still looking okay. Golden Tate, Saquon Barkley, more talent. So Giants -2.5. Any other games we want to talk about before we even jump to our stack? You've got the Rams facing the Steelers. Pretty interesting one there. Packers maybe bouncing back. Lions-Bears is an interesting one. Bears, again, still favored at home.
Yeah, that was actually one that I was a little puzzled about too as well. Where's the offense going to come from? Like that's where I can't figure out. They're going to run the ball.
Defense is bad.
Who's?
And you can run on them. The Lions' defense is bad, and you can run on them. And
So you definitely can run on them.
Chicago's finally been smart enough to give Montgomery the ball. Some significant touches at least over the last couple weeks.
So you can run on them, but is that how you're going to win? Like I don't like
Maybe
the Bears secondary has been gashed the past few weeks, and now you have a red hot Matt Stafford coming in, Galladay, Marvin Jones, who's been absolutely phenomenal, Danny Amendola.
I like the Lions.
There's too many ways for the Lions to win this game than for them to lose. So I'm shocked that they're 2.5 underdogs.
Yeah, I mean it's basically calling the teams even because it's in Chicago, 2.5 for the home field. So
That's fair, but you don't have a lean either way on that.
I would lean Lions,
Fine.
There you go.
but nobody made them a play.
Nope. Well, I'll come back on Monday, though, and be like, I'm going to kind of add that as one of mine because we talked about it a lot, and I really liked it.
The record shows we did talk about it.
All right. Those who watched or listened to the Monday show will know what this upcoming stack is. Those who watched or listened at the beginning of the show, now that I realize it, will know what this stack is because we talked about it already. 90s jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
Categories: NFL, NBA, NHL, flex.
Nice.
Yes, the flex, you can really open your minds. Mm-hmm. Because I know Julian is still researching.
Done.
Unfortunately for him, Boston teams never change their jerseys, so
There's 2 of them in it.
what
You
a
just
shocker.
you just sent it to us.
Oh, you sent it to the whole group.
You idiot. Now
That's
I know
all right.
your whole stack.
All right, I'm not looking at it.
Well, I already read it because I
Didn't
was
one
like,
of you
what's this?
send
All right, Edlow, you go first then because I don't want to
Yeah,
have
big
to read
surprise.
All right,
for us.
See, starting in Boston.
Patriots?
Yeah, the Flying Elvis jerseys.
Yeah, I know. I can see it. Dope. Go ahead. Tell
Yeah.
the listeners.
You just told him. The Pats Flying Elvis jerseys.
Tell us why.
I love the and it's they try and remake them with the smaller Patriots logo on the shoulder, but you have to get them with the enormous giant Flying Elvis logo on the shoulder.
Right.
The Curtis Martin days, the Teddy Bruschi days. The logo is just so oversized for no reason that they purposely remake them wrong. I don't know why. Maybe they just think that they couldn't possibly be that big, but you got to get the real one with the enormous Flying Elvis that takes way more than your entire shoulder.
That was
blue
very
ones,
90s.
blue ones,
Yes,
not the
has
white
to be
ones. And they have that like weird like 3D stripes that everyone thought was really cool at the time.
90s.
Very 90s. So for NBA, I started with the ones that sparked this whole conversation because I had to put them in, which is the Raptors.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm going colors over whites. I prefer the road purple ones, but it doesn't really get much better than a giant raptor dribbling a basketball with a lot of weird lines or bolts or whatever you want to call them. The only thing that could have made them better is if those were still the uniforms when Vince Carter won the dunk contest. They changed them to the cool, trendy
Sleek.
2000s sleek jerseys that now none of them actually look sleek, and everybody loves the 90s. I said I had 2 Boston, and I'm going with the giant, oversized bear Bruins jerseys.
That's a good one.
Always, here's a good sign of a good jersey. Never watched any hockey growing up. Was always watching NBA and college basketball. Always wanted that jersey. Had no clue what was going on with the Bruins growing up, and I was like, those jerseys are sick. I need one of those jerseys.
Did you have one of those jerseys?
No.
Oh.
I don't really. I feel like wearing
good news for you. No,
how'd you know? I don't know. The only person that can get away with wearing hockey jerseys, I feel like, is Wyman. Guy wears hockey jerseys around the office all the time.
We miss you.
I do have a 90s Coyotes one. I should have worn it today.
I mean, jerseys are welcome.
That almost made my list.
I have a really tough time with NBA because there's so many that I like. So my official one is the Rockets. The
black and white.
Black and white.
No, not the stripe ones. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar to the overall Raptors look. Honestly, the navy blue with the silver rocket in the middle. The end days of Hakeem Olajuwon.
Until he went to wear one of the Raptors jerseys.
It's true. Yeah, actually,
guy's got a great jersey collection.
I think he was in the sleek Vince Carter dunk contest ones by the time he got there. But that would have been quite the double down if he made it there in time. The Charles Barkley days a little bit at the end. I won't do honorable mention in case.
No, do honorable mention.
My honorable mention is just going with the pinstripes, the Black Bulls pinstripes that
Magic.
They only wore for like a year. I think Jordan's last year they were like an alternate, and then the blue Orlando pinstripes.
Those were dope.
I do have the black Jordan pinstripe and the blue Penny Hardaway pinstripe at home.
Nice.
I'm very proud of those.
He didn't decide to bring any of them in.
He
didn't know this was a stack until I introed the show at the beginning. So
could have brought both of them in.
Yeah, he was getting into his Uber when we announced it. He had to tell us that before the show. Like, that matters.
Humble brag.
Just saying where it's
bragging he's going to do his Uber.
All right,
I got
Steven.
a great list.
Oh, of course you do.
All right.
I'd expect nothing less.
All right.
One of these picks is going to be mind-blowing and going to absolutely
Did you just start
suck.
to say Lenny Moore?
Yes, I did. NBA.
He didn't play
The
NBA.
teal horse pistons.
Okay.
logo.
The chess piece?
Those ones, yes.
Chess piece.
Those ones are so sharp. Like, I would
like
wear
those.
that myself. I might actually have to go buy it. So I got Lenny Moore, Andrew Kastner, and the teal horse pistons.
All right.
I like those.
NFL, I think, actually has, like, the worst jerseys. Like, nothing stands out.
They're
to me.
hard. They're
Well,
hard
I
to.
thought that was with baseball, which is why I didn't even make
No
it a
way.
category.
Baseball is so much better.
They're so much better in what regard? Like,
it's just kind of like different lettering.
Yeah, like what makes a 90s baseball jersey? I have one on as my flex.
Well, yeah, maybe I have one in my flex.
Yeah.
All right.
but I just didn't want to make it a category because I thought we'd all have like the same one in our flex.
NFL is hard because you don't get a logo on it.
Yeah, it's just colors.
Which is why, like, the Patriots one, that's like the biggest
That's
logo
fair.
you can fit on a football jersey.
So I have the old Jets, the green and white.
Yeah.
Like, I just like the color
Kelly
schemes.
green, like the shocking green.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's actually one that's, like, kind of cool. Like, that, like, I would see that on the field, and, like, there was nothing going on the field in the 90s for the Jets. It was probably, like, their worst run in history, although we might be embarking on one right now. But 90s Jets, I think it's pretty sharp.
Snaps for the Jets.
Yes. NHL, it's the Ducks. Like, how is it not the Ducks? Like, I grew up on the Ducks because of D2
Yeah.
and Goldberg, you know? making all the stops.
Yeah.
Woo, 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 Kenny, woo.
Until Julie the Cat Gaffney had to come in to
Well,
make
right.
the biggest stop of them all.
And you know what's so fake about that movie? She makes a stop, okay? And then everyone's like waiting for it. Like, okay, if it went in, like, we'd have the buzzer going off. It's just so overdramatic.
That's the most fake thing about that movie, not the fact that they played Trinidad and Tobago in the Commonwealth Cup.
Well, the other thing, the knuckle puck knuckles too much. That's a little dramatic too.
Well,
But her glove save is ridiculous. Like, even when I was younger, I'm like,
not the
BS.
rollerblading through the mall. It's
No,
the
that can happen.
physics of
Kids
the
are
knuckle
punks.
puck that gets me.
Oh, those little kids, punks. Like, that's believable. Going into the
There's
Beverly Hills
guys
store.
playing steel drums in the stadium. That's all fine.
Nope.
I'm cool with it.
The overdramatic
There's
glove
LA
save.
kids playing street hockey. That's totally accurate.
Yeah.
But no, it is the.
Gaffney's glove stop, and the old bastard up in the top. Sorry, the old guy. Sorry, the old guy too. He's like,
will be beat down or
it's just
not.
so
We'll see.
overdramatic. Sorry about the B word.
Oh, he wasn't dead yet? Oh, I thought he died. Sorry, spoiler.
Jeez.
That comes later.
But that was so overdramatic. That bothered me. My flex.
A lot of Mighty Ducks
So,
spoilers
okay,
today.
I have to ask because I went Mighty Ducks as well, but I went with a specific Mighty Ducks jersey. Is
Okay.
there one that you would pick? Because, like, they actually wear, like, the
They had
Miami
two.
Hurricanes
Yeah, you got to
jersey.
pick the actual
Okay, so
jersey.
I just
like
went
how
with
you did the teal pist.
So I just went with the classic, with the
So
mask
the
on
one,
it.
the one with the NHL team wore.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
There's that other throwback where it was like a cartoon.
That's the one I have.
Yeah,
Wild
okay,
Wing.
okay.
Wild Wing.
So
The one that's like $600 on eBay if you're
Yes.
trying to get a legitimate
So
one.
I'll let you have that one.
Thank
Spoiler.
you.
Flex, Tampa Bay Devil Rays
Okay.
Yeah.
jersey.
That's nice.
That was
Gradient.
when that
Look
went
at-
down.
oh.
Oh, so there it is. Wonderful.
Oh, that's the wrong Jets jersey, though. I think.
No, it's not. That's right.
No, that's the one you wanted?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
tough
that's fine.
pick on the Jets jersey.
Why? Why? Because you didn't
Nothing
pick
very
it.
good about it. No,
There's nothing good. There's nothing good about NFL jerseys.
mine are cool.
So the Devil Rays, when the Devil Rays died, that's when society died. That's when we started to become soft. And we live in this day and age now because, we had to take the devil out because it was, a devil.
Is
It's
that,
like a-
is that really why they did it?
Yes.
I thought it was just they wanted Rays for like Ray of Sunshine. I thought you were talking about these Jets jerseys.
No. I don't even think is that 90s? That
Yeah.
looks even older.
That was to me was more the 90s. Those were the 2000s.
Well,
Anyways,
too bad.
all right.
But they took out the devil in Devil Rays. Like Devil Rays is like a fish, amphibian. What is that?
Thanks
What
for
is the
checking in
Devil
on
Ray?
Animal Planet.
What is the Devil Ray?
It's a water-bound species of.
Is that it? So is that amphibian's a reptile?
A large, long-tailed ray that has fleshy, horn-like projection on each side of the mouth.
I see it.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
It occurs on or near the surface of warm seas and feeds on plankton.
I love the gradient though. Like that's very 90s.
And extra, Wade Boggs, Devil
Yep,
Rays
Wade
jersey.
Boggs.
There it goes. All right, go ahead. Amphibian's a reptile, though, right?
All right, here we go. We're going with mine. I gotta find my list here. Here we go. All right, NFL. Tampa Bay Buccaneers creamsicle jerseys.
Oh,
Not bad.
Love it. Love
Yeah.
the logo. So over
That's
the top
actually a
and
really good one.
ridiculous. They wore it for the majority of the 90s. They did switch inside the 90s to the pewter and red, but
when did they have the crossing swords? Was that in the 90s?
I think
Or was that like early 2000s? I think it was early 2000s.
yeah, that might have only been like a prototype. I don't know if they've actually worn
Oh, they never
that.
played with those?
I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
A little too. I
We
don't
need to
know.
interrupt.
So NBA, I also had the Raptors only because, like, in the spirit of the thing, like that is the answer. But honorable mention because I actually thought about changing it. Vancouver Grizzlies.
Yeah,
that's
a good
when they had the big country and they had the the teal kind of color there. I really like those ones as well. NHL, we already talked about Wild Wing. Commercialism in the 90s, man. Like the synergy between Disney and the NHL was something to behold. Honorable mentions to the trumpets on the Blues, their throwbacks, which producer Matt actually told me they never actually wore, which was correct. So they only were going to wear them, but the outcry was so bad they never actually wore them. So I guess I couldn't really count that. But third jerseys, I mean, the Coyotes we talked about, their third jersey, the green one, was gorgeous. You had the Dallas Stars constellation. So many great ones. But
I'm
Wild
surprised
Wing.
nobody went Islanders.
Or the Islanders, yeah, Fisherman, Gordon's Fisherman. Also the Kings, the Burger King that they wore for the outdoor game. The NHL, man, they just went all out to try and get people interested. You had the glowing puck back then as well. And then my flex, I thought this happened in early 2000s. Luckily, it was in 1999. The turn ahead the clock game where the Mets became the Mercury Mets. You got the jersey up there. There's like a handful of teams that wore them. It was only for one game in 99. Like the Pirates did a special one. The Mariners did. The New York Mets actually changed their name for one game to the Mercury Mets. And it was supposed to be what jerseys looked like in the 2000s, or like what the baseball is going to look like in the 2000s. They're the ugliest things in the world, but they're amazing. So quintessentially 90s because they were trying to project what the 2000s would be like, and everyone was wrong all the time with all that. So to me, this lineup right here is just phenomenal.
I'd never even heard of that. The Mercury Mets or anything like that.
I like
Google
your-
Turn Ahead the Clock, because it is something to behold. Paul Lucas of UniWatch did a great series on it, and you can see all of them. Like it was like 6 or 8 teams or something like that.
I like your Mighty Ducks jersey more.
Yeah.
The Mercury Mets jersey stinks,
Well, yeah.
but I understand the
It's
story
so
behind it
delicious.
contributes.
Right.
Does producer Matt want to get in on this? He was very animated in our chat and said,
Yeah, turn on your microphone. Oh, God. He can't even figure it out. Oh, yes, we can hear you.
Oh my God, it works. Yeah, Pooh Bear jersey is definitely the all-time greatest jersey
There we go.
for 90s. That is just the most hideous. It's like a pug dog where they're so ugly that they're amazing. It goes full circle. The trumpet jerseys, I think they did wear them for warm-ups once, but yes, you're right. The outcry was so terrible that they could not actually wear them. But I feel like if they brought them back now, we would definitely be able to embrace that as a society.
ugly is the new black.
It is. It's
Everyone wants ugly jerseys.
Islanders Fisherman's jersey, and one of my favorites, the Whalers jersey. Just a nice classic jersey from a team that actually existed that they they would wear, and you never notice, but it's actually got the H in there
Yeah.
with the little whale tail. So,
Quadrupling down on hockey.
Negative space.
Yeah.
Yes, we had
Yep,
to fulfill.
exactly.
We finally
Using
could
negative
talk about
space
hockey,
in
so we had
logos
to
is
talk as much as we
just a
could.
great thing. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Hey, quick question. Do you go watch shopping with Alex? I just noticed you have a nice watch on.
I do not. I purchased mine online, independent of Jenga.
You guys should talk
You
after the
seriously,
show.
Bukes, could just Google like brown leather watch, and that would be like the most generic watch. I'm not saying it's a bad
What's
watch.
wrong
It's
with
a
that?
great watch.
That's so rude.
But you cut in like it's like this holy grail watch. It's like just wear a watch, you'll feel a lot better.
I don't want to wear a watch.
You just want to admire other people who wear watches?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
When I get my DK Live sponsorship,
do
maybe
you-
I'll buy a watch.
Do you like go on YouTube and watch people play video games? Like I don't want to do it myself. I want to watch someone do it.
Actually, I might start doing that.
Do your kids do that? I feel like that's a
Well, apparently, one of my
That's a
kids
big
just
thing.
subscribed to something on Apple, and it's costing me $8 a week all of a sudden. So I want to know what the hell that's about.
Put it
Sweet
toward a
Rush
watch.
Switch.
All right. So that's fun. Anything else we got to add before we head out here?
That was a quick show.
Lev Bell not practicing today.
Again,
He's just
This is it.
done.
That he's done.
another reason to like Giants minus 2.5, I
No,
guess. But
because
they
like
don't even
Bilal
use
Powell will
Bell to
actually
begin
try.
with.
Like I kind of want Bell to play in the game. But anyway.
They did feed him last week, though.
Yeah.
They did do that. He had over 20 DraftKings fantasy.
And what
points.
happened? They lost to the
Well,
Dolphins.
I mean, at least from a fantasy purpose, that's good. But
Yeah, that's true.
that team's a disaster.
That is true. All right, that's going to do it for the Panel B podcast. For Julian Edlow, for Stephen Watchless Buchanan, I'm Alex Jankowski. We will see you next time.